In Training Day, the gun choices tell you what kind of dirty cop Alonzo really is. At first, it's just normal service pistols, the kind that look by the book. Then those same guns start getting used to intimidate people, force decisions, and set traps. As Jake follows Alonzo from stop to stop, the weapons stay realistic, but the way they're used gets dirtier. So by the end, which guns were actually about the job, and which ones were just Alonzo setting Jake up? Detective Sergeant Alonzo Harris carries a pair of Smith & Wesson 45-06 pistols when he bullies his way through the early stops. And those guns do a lot of quiet talking. The 45-06 is a full-size, all-stainless, third-generation S&W in 45 ACP, running a traditional double-action, single-action trigger system instead of the newer striker trend. It's also a single-stack 45, usually an 8-round magazine, which is why the grip looks flatter than most double-stack service pistols of the era. That extra steel makes it heavy, and the whole point of a gun like this is duty reliable, not pretty. From there, at the very start of shift check, where the rookie is still trying to look squared away, a full-size 9mm comes out with an open slide look you can spot instantly. Jake loads his Beretta 92 FS at the beginning like it's part of his uniform. And that fits, because the 92 FS is a classic service 9x19mm pistol. And the signature detail is the open top slide, paired with Beretta's locking block system, a setup that gives the gun that distinctive profile and helped it earn a reputation for running smoothly in high-volume use. It's also a double-stack 9mm, with the standard service magazine feel people associate with the platform, and it reads Department Issue the second you see it in Jake's hands. For Jake, it's straight lines and rules. That leads into the first time Alonzo's crew closes in around a living room standoff, where a polymer 9mm shows up that's famous for being simple and brutally consistent. Mark draws a Glock 17 during the raid on Roger's house, and it's the kind of pistol that looks plain until you remember why it took over police holsters. The Glock 17 is a 9x19mm striker-fired handgun built around a polymer frame, designed for fewer external controls and the same trigger feel shot after shot. A standard G17 magazine pattern is 17 rounds, which is part of why it became the default Wonder 9 shape for modern service pistols. Mark's is called out as a second-generation style, meaning the older look without accessory rail and without the later finger groove front strap. From there, at the porch and vest lineup right before the door gets hit, something with a collapsing stock appears. And the key detail is the way it communicates special unit without being a rifle. Paul brings a Heckler & Koch MP5A3 to the raid on Roger's house, and the MP5's reputation is baked into the design. It's a 9x19mm submachine gun built around a roller-delayed blowback system, which is one reason it's known for a smooth, controllable feel compared to simpler, straight blowback 9mm guns. The A3 variant is the one with the retractable stock, so it can look compact in tight spaces, but still has the classic MP5 silhouette when it's shouldered. It feeds from the familiar straight 9mm magazines you see everywhere with this platform, and the Navy-style trigger group is a recognizable configuration detail people associate with later MP5 setups. Right beside him at that same doorstep lineup, the rookie's handed a shotgun that doesn't look like a patrol gun at all, and the promise is that it becomes the day's first real moral test. Jake carries a Mossberg 500 Cruiser during the raid on Roger's house, and the Cruiser setup is its own vibe. The Mossberg 500 is a pump-action 12-gauge with a simple, rugged receiver design and a tubular magazine under the barrel. and it's been a standard American workhorse for decades. The cruiser configuration is typically the pistol grip-only style, which changes the whole silhouette into something more aggressive and close quarters. A Mossberg's top-mounted tang safety is one of the platform's signature traits, and it's part of why the gun is so recognizable, even at a glance. Then, Alonzo pushes Jake to use it on Roger. And when Jake refuses, Alonzo takes the same shotgun and kills Roger himself. One move that nails exactly how corrupt this training really is. From there, the day keeps getting even worse. And in a bathroom with a tub and nowhere to run, the next gun shows up as a cut-down double barrel with black tape on the grip. And the promise is that Jake's life gets decided in seconds. Smiley holds Jake captive with a sawed-off Stoeger Uplander in the bathroom. And this is where the gun stops being gear and becomes pure threat. The Stoeger Uplander is a side-by-side break-action shotgun. 2 barrels, 2 chambers, and no pretending it's anything but close-range power. In the common setup, it's a 12-gauge, and the defining limitation is also the defining pressure. 2 shots, then it's empty until it's opened again. Cut down short, it loses any sporting look and turns into a blunt instrument. And the black electrical tape around the grip makes it feel improvised and personal, like it's been handled hard for a long time. In that room, Jake isn't counting villains. He's counting barrels. And the second Smiley decides not to pull the trigger, it doesn't feel like mercy. It feels like a delay that carries straight into a bedroom where a pump gun gets yanked from under a bed. And the tell is the heat shield and bayonet mount. Alonzo grabs a Remington 870 from under the bed at his girlfriend's apartment when Jake thinks he's finally disarmed him. The 870 is a 12-gauge pump-action shotgun that's been around since 1950, built around a tubular magazine and a reputation for being a pure workhorse in police and military roles. Alonzo's version isn't a plain field gun either. It's dressed in that trench style with a heat shield, an extended magazine tube, and a bayonet mount, plus a cut-down stock that makes it look even more aggressive the second it clears the mattress line. And when he fires it at Jake, it's the moment the badge act fully drops. This isn't authority anymore. It's desperation with a pump gun. From there, at the car, when the money turns into an escape plan, something flatter and older comes out. And the giveaway is that slim single-stack 45 shape with 2 safeties everyone recognizes. Jake ends up with Alonzo's Colt 1911 pistol after the hood of the car scramble when Alonzo tries to peel off with the money. The 1911 pattern is a classic 45 ACP, single-action semi-auto, built around a short recoil tilting barrel system, with that unmistakable straight frame profile and the combo of thumb safety plus grip safety. It's also a single-stack design, and the GI-style magazine everyone associates with a 1911 is 7 rounds, which is why it stays slim compared to most service pistols in this movie. What matters here is the switch. The same old-school 45 Alonzo used to threaten Jake becomes the gun Jake points right back at him. And Jake fires when Alonzo makes a grab for something else. From there, in that final courtyard pressure, a compact stainless revolver gets set down on the ground. And the twist is it's a short-barreled .357 that everyone suddenly treats like the only vote that counts. Bone brings a Smith & Wesson Model 66 Snub-Nose into the final confrontation. And the Model 66 is a classic stainless K-frame revolver, chambered for .357 Magnum. That means it can also run .38 Special. But the .357 label is the one that carries the "Don't test me" reputation. In the snub configuration, it's a short-barreled revolver, here called out with a 2.5-inch barrel. And the 6-shot cylinder is the old-school standard people picture with this frame size. The rounded butt grip shape is another tell, changing how the gun sits in the hand and how it prints when carried. The next thing that arrives isn't a pistol at all. It's a compact AK-style carbine with a curved magazine and a reputation for turning an ambush into a full stop. At the very end, the AKMSU shows up in the hands of the Russian hit squad, and it's the hard cutoff from cop guns to no rules. The AKMSU is the compact Krinkov-style AK pattern you recognize by its short profile, folding stock vibe, and the way it still runs the classic 7.62 by 39mm world of curved magazines. Mechanically, it sits in the AK family's lane. Gas-operated, long-stroke piston reliability, just chopped down into something meant for close range and fast violence. And that's the answer to the opening question. The guns feel legitimate because they're real-world shapes tied to real authority. Until Alonzo proves he's a traitor wearing a badge. And the story ends with weapons that don't pretend to be anything but consequences. The takeaway is simple. Training Day picks recognizable, grounded firearms, so the moment the trust breaks, it feels unavoidable.